Okay, can you guys see my screen? This LearnCamp, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. So welcome again. So far we've seen we've covered the following topics: intro to Power BI, ETL processes in Power BI, data visualization. We've seen a bit of it, and also we've seen data modeling. Yeah. So today we'll begin with data analysis expressions, and then we'll see how far we can go. All right. So let me come here. So this is where we begin. Okay, so data analysis expression. So it's probably what many of us have not heard of before. So this, as you can see, the definition is that it's a formula language used in Power BI and other Microsoft tools for creating custom calculations and expressions on data. Okay, so that goes beyond simple arithmetic. It's designed for complex data manipulations and analysis. So that basically is a tool on Power BI, and of course we also have it on, like you said, another thing that aids analysis. Basically, it aids computation, calculations, and all of that. Just works like functions in Excel. Yeah. So just like in Excel, so you also have them here. So this is how you can do your calculation. You're manipulating your data, trying to do all sort of things in Power BI. So we are going to be seeing how that works anyways. So, and of course, syntax, like I mentioned, is similar to functions in Excel, but just like that. So they are usually written using functions, operators, and values. So common DAX functions. So just like so you have sum, average, count, max, min. So you can see that now that from Excel, we're dealing with these stuff. In SQL also, we're dealing with them. Yeah. Now also we'll be dealing with them. So that's it. So if you didn't understand the difference, for instance, now between sum and count, even at the level of Excel, and also in SQL, you still don't understand it. Now you are here again. You see that it's still continuation. So everything that we've done, they are important. So because we just be building on them, they are really like the same thing and like similar idea. So this is how that is written, just an example. Let me just show you this slide because I don't like to be coming to slide often and all of that. So when you talk about DAX, you talk about in Power BI, you talk of two things. What you use DAX to create. So the first one is called calculated columns. Okay, so that's the first thing you need to note. Calculated columns, they are created using DAX, and they are used to, as you can see, they are used to create new data elements based on existing data. Okay, and one thing to note about calculated column is that they are visible in the data. So interview question, differences between calculated column and the second one that we'll be looking at now. Okay, they are very common interview questions. So calculated columns are what they are like. It's just like you want to add a new column, and then based on a particular column, and then use just like what we have been doing so before. You want, for instance, you have date, and then you want to create hour. Is it hour now? Month or year from date. So you have it. You are creating a new column based on another column. So that's like calculated column. You understand, because the column is generated by calculation. Do you get the idea now? So you would of course see it in the data. So when you create that hour now, for instance, or that month, you also see it as part of the data, as the new data, yeah? So that's why I say it is visible in the data. And the second one is measures. So that's I use mainly to create two things in Power BI. You have calculated columns and measures. So measures are dynamic calculations that respond to user interactions. We are going to be seeing that soon. And the opposite, they are not visible in the table. So it means that when you create a measure, you don't see them as part of the table, right? They exist somewhere, I don't know, but they are not part of the table. You only find them when you summon them, okay? So we'll be seeing that also. And yeah, so, and then we have common functions. So there are a lot of functions, just like in Excel. You can, even me, I don't know, up to 50, or I don't even know up to 30 maybe. So, but you can see that a lot of similarities with what you have in Excel. You have sum, average, max, min, divide, count, counter. You remember? count rows. Okay, we didn't have count rows. Do you have count rows? I'm not sure. But I mean, these are just little additions. You have some X. These are iterator functions. We'll talk about this one separately, but again, they are from some. And then you have if as well. So if and so on and so forth, you know. And then you have text functions. So similar, concatenate. You can see repetition of everything, yeah? So search, find, replace, left, everything the same. And then these are like the main ones that are very much peculiar to Power BI. You have like calculate, filter, and you have all other things like that. So, and we have some date and time in the functions. So this picture is actually from, I actually got it on website. Someone actually put it on YouTube, but primarily, I know this is from maybe in analytics. So just to reference that this picture was from there. I didn't want to put the guy's link because he also stole the picture. So there are also data time intelligence functions, but that will be at the later. We'll talk about that. But these are the main things that you need to know. Okay. So let's go over to Power BI. That's enough talking, and see how these things play out in real life. Okay. So now you open your Power BI. I know so far we have 2 Power BI files, right? So there is one that contains the model that's for the AdventureWorks model. That's not the one I'm using today. So I'll be using the first one that we started with, the one that had all these customers, courses, and all of that. So that's what I'll be using. Okay. So far, so good. We have, this is where we stopped since the last time. We have all these guys open. So what I need is this one, this customers table that this is what I'll be using. So I'm going to hide every other one and on hide this one, this customers, this guy, this customers table. So I'm going to hide every other one so that we don't disturb us. Right now, you know what that hide does. Yeah? Do you remember what the hide does? Let the class not be silent. Since last week, I don't know what happened. The class has been silent, and even on the Discord.
Sorry, what did you ask, please, Idris?
I was asking if you know what hide does, the hiding and all of that, if you know what it does. Yeah. So we are left with just these customers in our this thing. Okay. So let me now I'm going to this customers table. So this is what we have. This is where we can be checking our data. So everything that we actually did in Power Query, we can actually do them with DAX. Okay. So if you remember from my definition of DAX, I said that when you create, not definition of DAX, when you create calculated columns, they are usually a part of your data. So let's start with calculated columns so we can see them, right? Because that's also the second thing about them, that you can always see them. So what I'm going to do is the same thing that we did for these guys. I'm going to be repeating them here. Okay. So let's start with this full name, right? Although we did not create it in our, did we create it in our Power Query? Did we create full name? No, we did not create it. So let's create it this time with, okay, we created it. This is it, full name. We created it. Nobody reminded me that we created it. That's how I would have created duplicate. Where is it again? Yeah, this is it, full name. Yeah?
We are muted, sir.
Yeah. So I will create a new one with DAX. Yeah. And then I will just identify that I'm creating with DAX so that you will know that we can actually use it. So we want to join these 3 together. Let's do it with that. So to create any calculated column, all you need to do is just on that table that you want to create, just right click, and then you will find new measure. That's not what we want to do now. We are coming back to that. And then you have new column. Okay, so new column, because you're actually going to create a new column. Yeah. So click on new column, and then you have a formula just like you have in Excel. Maybe some of us don't like these formulas, and then these formulas again. Well, we don't have choice, so that's what we have to do. So formula like in Excel. Yeah. So now I'm going to write the name of the column that I want to create. So I can call it full name. Full name. I'm going to put DAX underscore DAX, so we know that we are creating from DAX. Can you see it? Can you see what I'm writing? I'm typing. Is it showing very well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you can also press this side to like increase the size of this space so you can see it more. I think I can zoom here now. Okay, yeah. So it will be better this way. So full name DAX equals to, so that's how you write it. So equals to. Now, what we want to do is concatenate, yeah? And or it's concatenate, it's join. You know how functions work by now, that you must know what you want to do, and then you can find how you are going to do it. So let's do just one test. Of course, you know that I wouldn't show you this again. I will just show you another one test. So let's assume that we don't even know the function, but we know what we want to do. So join strings Power BI. So there are several values, there are several stuffs, but we see that concatenate function is here for us. So that's just for you to know that you can also use online source. So concatenate. So as soon as you type this, just like Excel, you will see the stuff here. So it's asking you the first string, right? Are you seeing it? The first string, which is text one, just like in Excel. So the first one I want to put there is first is prefix, yeah? We want prefix first, yeah? Prefix. Now I'm going to type prefix. The colon is going to come out. Can you see? Comma, text two. Text two is first name. Okay, so you see the name of the table. So in case you have many first names, because sometimes you can have many tables that have first name. So you see the table name and then the name of the column. You get the idea? So that's column name, table name, bracket, column name. So I want first name, click on enter. Now, if you check, if I put comma, now the third name is what? Last name, right? So if I put last name, I'm getting an error. Can you see? It's already giving me an error. And the reason for that is because, who can tell me, did anybody see why? Let me see if anybody is looking at me. Anybody saw why? Yeah, IK, yeah.
I think it only joins two names.
Good. So if you check, let me show you in case you did not see. So if you check, I told you it's just like Excel. So you should have paid attention to that. So if I put comma now, you will see that in my concatenate, what's the definition? Joins two text string into one. So you can only join two text string. And now we are trying to join how many?
3.
How many are we trying to join?
3.
So you see that we cannot use this for what we want to do. So either two ways about it. Either it's okay, let's take away the prefix and just do first name and do last name. Okay. And then once you do that, you will see that you have a new column here created that is called what? That is called first name DAX. Oops. It's always at the last side, just like in Parquet. Yeah. Can you see? So that's exactly what's going to happen. So of course, now you see that the names are joined together because we did not even put space. We did not do anything. So now the question is, this is not even working. So we need to make it work. So if I'm not using concatenate, what else can I use? So again, you can check online, but because I already know, so I'm just going to do it. Of course, the idea here is to show you how DAX work. It's not necessarily about that. It's just to show you how DAX work, writing the formula, what you are going to get, and all of that. So let's check again. Let me go online and just say concatenate. Now we know it's concatenate, right? Concatenate more than two strings. Can you see it's already giving me recommendation? So in case some of us that don't know how to search stuffs. So there are a lot of resources, there are a lot of stuffs. There are usually too much to read. What we need is and anyways, but I want to just show us how we can be checking stuffs, because I know I always tell you people to check stuffs online. I know some people might be putting a lot of story, but the obvious answer is you can use and. It's called ampersand. I think it's also in Excel too. It's similar to in Excel. You can also use it in Excel. So let me just show you how you can do that, and let's move on. So a better way to do this is to, of course, you can always edit the formula. Okay. Anytime you click on the Okay, let's say for instance, now I just click on the customers, nothing is there. Once you click on the measure, can you see the measure here? Can you see the sign?
Yes.
Everyone see. Can you see the kind of icon that is in front of it? It's like a calculator and then a table and then FX. So it tells you that that is what? A calculated
function.
You understand? Calculated column. So once you click on it, you can have option to edit. So I want to edit it. So I will not use concatenate function. So I can use, I can write it prefix. Okay, the first one. And so this is concatenate. I think it works in Excel too. So you can check it out. How did you do it in Excel? Okay, we use concatenate. But there was a time I showed you this too in Excel, yeah? I think.
No.
No.
Are you sure?
No, no, you have not.
Okay, check.
No.
Or did we do plus in Excel? Plus.
No.
No.
It was only concatenate we used to.
No.
Yes. Concalculate
Yeah,
with
we did
the
concatenate.
double column space.
It's okay. It's okay. No worries. I mean, it's all good. Yeah, you should read more. You should find more. So you can actually use plus two in Excel. So try it, check it out. So this, no, we did plus now. We did it when we were doing pivot table. When I wrote that formula, you people want to be lying on me again in this class. I remember in pivot table, ampersand, yeah? Ayolu, was it in this class I showed you, or maybe you just know it? Because I remember I showed you now. When we were writing the title of the pivot tables. Do you remember? I bet I did not.
Not this
We
class.
didn't use plus.
Yes,
We didn't use plus.
what did you use? Use ampersand.
No, we just
No.
used concatenate. We never used ampersand or plus.
I doubt it. I'm going to open Excel when we are done. When we are on break, I'll open it and confirm it.
The video, right? Yeah.
No, I'll open my Excel work where the one we worked on, and then I think I showed you something like that, but we'll see. If all of you are wrong, all of you that said I've marked your face, oh.
What if we are right? Let's talk. What if we are right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's continue. Let's continue.
You are threatening me in this class. Okay. If
No,
I'm right,
never.
if I'm right, I will admit. You know me, I will admit.
No, it does not end there. Admit before I call you. Before.
Okay. Don't worry. You guys are right. But if I'm right, okay. All right. So, or let's do like this. There will be no assignment for this weekend. What about that one?
Yes.
No, like
Bring the assignment. Bring it. We'll do it.
It's the ladies that always talk when it's time for assignment. Their voice should just go up. All right, let's continue. Let's go. All right, so prefix and then the next one, I want a space. So the same idea. I want a space. What you would normally do in is it working like this? Even it's like I'm already doing.
This one we did.
I can't use this one. I can only use double quotes. Yeah. So you cannot use single. You can only use double quote. So this, and then what's the next one? Prefix, first name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then again another space.
Last name.
And then last name. Okay. And press enter. So once you do that, you see that you have just exactly what you have. So this a way of also concatenating. I mean, it just works very, very simple. So that's how you create a calculated column. So you can see that what we created now, we can see it in our table. That's what a calculated column means. So you can actually do it for all of these things. So I'll just do a couple more, and then I'll leave you to go and play around the rest. So which means that the assignment you got in the, when was that? When did I? Okay, the first day. I told you to try some things on your own. You can also use DAX instead of doing Power Query, right? So let's check, for instance. Someone said we actually did the ampersand. Now you remember, Abby. I'm waiting for my break. I will open it like this. I will show you. If I'm in this class, you people are still lying against me in this class. We will find out. Oh, don't worry. People that will leave this class. This especially the person that was in.
Idris, when you find out that we are lying on you, just give us homework. We'll go and do it. Don't worry.
Thank you for that.
And the person that is saying that you will do this, that person too, whoa. The person will collect. I would
I'll mute you. Don't threaten anybody here. Okay, so let's go for birthday too. Okay, so just to show that that can be used across, right? So several things. So for the birth date, if you remember, we extracted, well, what did we extract? We extracted year, right? So let's see how we can do that again with calculated column. So you can either click on this side, or even from here, I think you can also do something here. Oh, yeah. So you see new column here. So new column is going to do the same thing. So, and then the formula prompts, and then you can write here. Okay. So we already have here before, so I'm going to do here underscore DAX. If you don't do it, it's going to bring an error that it already exists. You get. So here DAX equals to. So we want to extract here from, again, you go to Google and check how do you extract here from birth date or from date. So, but I think we should use the year function. So if we check here, it tells us that returns the year of a date as a 4D integer, just like in this thing. So, and then you put the birth date here. So I want it to return the year for me. And then you'll have the year. Can you see? Now you will notice that some of us just be taking note of something as we are doing this DAX now. Okay, I will not tell you. I want you to find out yourself. What do you notice as we are going on writing this?
Please tell us.
No, I will still tell you, but I want you to. Someone made a complaint in this thing, but I want you to just so that you can remember. So, but let's just continue. So when I explain it, you understand it better. So again, you can do for marital status, right? So if S is, so let's see how we can do that. So again, new colon. It's always going to be new colon because we want to see it in our table. So let's call it marital, and then I'm going to say underscore DAX marital equals to. So now, what did we do when we wanted to create marital? Who can remind me? We've done this like
conditional formatting.
Conditional formatting.
For my waiting.
Conditional.
Conditional.
We use condition to fill in our
Conditional statements.
conditional statement. Thank you.
Conditional statement.
Where did you not see formatting before?
Sorry, it's also
Sorry about
Ah, hey, you people are scaring me.
don't be afraid.
So, and the conditional is if, right?
If, yeah.
Yes.
Same thing here. So you can do if. Okay.
Sorry.
You can see just like in Excel, logical test, result if true, result if false.
Marital status.
If marital status, right? So now you have to be sure the one you want to pick. If marital status is equals to M, yeah, then okay. Now we cannot use this. Sorry, I'm always this is the issue with going from one place to another. So it's double quotes. So if it's equals to M, then that's what result if
Male.
male. Marital status.
Married, bro.
Married.
Oh, yeah, I also make that mistake. So that's fine. So result if false, single. But don't forget that was not what we did. We tried to. Do you remember?
You check if there is NA.
Yeah. So let's do it the normal way. So result if false. So you do if again, just like in Excel. Yeah. Nested if. Do you understand?
Yes, yes. What do you want?
So if marital status again. So this guy is already getting long. So let me expand this. Yeah.
Single.
You can actually use Alt Enter to come to the next line. I think I also showed you in Excel. Yeah.
Yes.
So if marital status is equals to female, is equals to F,
Male.
then return what? Female.
S.
No.
What?
S.
We are doing single and
Single
married.
Single and married.
Mr. Idris, girl, you need rest.
Sorry. Someone said single, someone said male the other time. When he said it, he did not complain. Me, I now said female, now you are complaining. It's not about all of us that need rest like that. It's all of us that need rest. So otherwise, the last one is NA. Yeah?
Yeah.
So if you do this again, you have a new column and then you have the same thing. So just like that. So apply it, try it for wealth category, try it for everything that we've done so far. Okay. You also find out you can get age. Why is this age like this? Okay, we later did total years anyway. So, I mean, the same logic. So it's now you see that everything is about logic. It's about understanding what needs to be done. The tool is not the problem. You always know, you always find a way to do it. But if you don't know what you need to do, then the tools become useless. Okay, so everything is available for you. So this is just how DAX works, and this is how calculated column. Any question? So try the rest by yourself. So what I was actually saying, I don't know if you've noticed, even my own computer, you can see it's already shaking small. It's shaking small. Of course, this is even still little. Imagine you are dealing with millions and all of that. So this actually an unhealthy way to do calculated column. Don't use DAX for calculated column as much as you can, because it's going to slow down your model. Okay, so this is interview tip. Okay, so the best place to do it, I think I told you before, is the source. If you can do all your cleaning and everything from the source, maybe in Excel or even SQL, spot on. If you cannot do it there, then the next place you should do it is in Power Query.
Okay.
I explained to you that in Power Query, before data is loaded here, it is compressed by the Vertipack engine. Okay, so once you do all your transformation, everything, it's only the main data that will come out. So the engine will not be running to do, but here like this, the engine is having to hold the data and also do this stuff all the time. Do you understand? So this is the list, it's on LD. It's not that it will not work. It's not that, as you can see, it's working, but it's not LD to create your calculator. Just take notes in you can be asked in an interview, like, even they can ask you optimization tips in Power BI or even in general analytics. So you say the best place, one of the things I do to improve my model or to improve my report is that I try as much as possible to do the transformation in my source. If I'm not able to do everything, maybe for instance, I need to bring data from year to year and map them. Then if I'm using Power BI, I do them in Power Query. If I'm using Tableau, I do them in Tableau Prep. So Tableau Prep is just like Power Query for Tableau. That's another tool. So you understand. And then you let them know, oh, the worst place I ever try to do my transformation, or of course, this is transformation, yeah, is in my is using DAX. They know this person is, you have already shown them that you know what you are doing. Okay, so this is just a very useful tip that you need to take note of. All right. So yeah, Mr. Francis asked a question.
Thank you. So let's assume that I'm already doing my visualization, and something quickly comes to my mind, like, I need to do for this, probably it will help for the business idea. So, and I don't want to go back to require Power Query.
Why don't you want to go back there?
Like I'm already doing my visualization and the modeling stuff, and I just feel like, let me just add this column.
It doesn't matter. You can go there, run there. Okay. If it's for optimization sake, run there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not an excuse to now do it here. I mean, it's just 2 clicks away, yeah.
And so, also, what if we have a new column that we just generated from here with that? So if we want to load the data to Power Query, would that same column go there?
Good question. So that's also another disadvantage. I wouldn't say it's a disadvantage anyway, but yeah, I've actually encountered it once as a disadvantage, because I created with that, and then I wanted to map it, that same stuff, with another table in my Power Query, and then it was not there. So if you create with that, all these things that you've created now, if you go over to Power Query, you'll not find them there, because they are created outside of the Power Query. Power Query did not see them. They were created outside of it. They are running on their own like this, and that's why they are taking more space. So that's also another thing to note. So they are, if you need to use them inside of a Power Query for something, map them. So that's another thing. Thank you for that question. I hope you understand. And you can check it yourself. Just edit query and see if you can find all these marital DAX that you've created in your Power Query. If you can find them there, I'll be surprised. But I expect it not to be there. Okay. Yeah, is that clear? Mr. Shilfu, my hand up.
Yeah, I want to ask a question, but I don't want to go back also. And I think it just said something impressive. That's what I did. Doing this thing you gave us, the assignment, the project you gave us. What I did in Excel, those empty space, I did find age. I think I filled it from there, and I bring it back to the Power Query. So I want to ask that, did I do something reasonable there? Because doing this, what I did, all this NA or known, I feed it from the Excel using find H and I replace them with NA. So and I bring it back to Power Query. I want to ask what I did there. Is it reasonable like that? Can I do some?
Is in a reward situation, that's really good. That's fantastic. But the purpose of the assignment was for you to use Power Query to do it.
I also use Power Query, but I just did that when I lost.
If you use Power Query, that's fine. But in a reward sense, that's actually the better way. So that's why I said as much transformation you can do from your source. You understand? Do it from your source and then load the better data. I mean, the close to best data on your Power Query. So it just ensures that your Power Query your Power BI environment is doing less work, and that will help your report. I mean, we might not understand these things because we are dealing with low number of data and all of that. When you have a lot of reports now, and then you click on something, you expect your report to respond immediately, and then it's doing like so you understand some of these things. But yeah, just take note of them. I believe as you progress in your journey, you will encounter these things and then you would remember. All right. So okay, let's take the last question. Yeah. Victoria, yeah.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mr. Idris. All right. Why trying to work on something like practice on Power Query and everything with my colleague is also here. So we tried to import some of this data we closed and apply, but there were some tables we didn't need and we didn't know how to put it, like we didn't want it to come to the desktop to Power BI. We wanted it to stay in Power Query, and we couldn't find our way around it. I don't know.
That's a good one. Of course, I showed you how to hide it here, but you could. I think it was not there before. Well, recently, I think they probably added it, or maybe I was the one that didn't even know that it existed before. So let me quickly show you that. So let's assume all these tables now, instead of hiding them here, I don't even want them to be here, right? Is that not what you're asking? That's what you're asking, right?
Yes, we don't want it to be here.
You don't even want them at all here. So let's see. Let's go back to Power Query. I think there should be an option there. So like these are the data, right? So if I right click on them, you will find including enable load. So uncheck this enable load. Okay. So you can see that disabling load will remove the table from the report and any visual it contains will be broken. So this is it. So if you use this one now, this is for cities. Let me do for payment. I will not do for everything. I will just show you for cities and payment and also do this one. And then when I do close and apply and I come here, I don't expect to see cities and payment anymore. Can you see? So this, I think this answers what you are asking. So just for others too. So you don't have to be hiding it here, because if you don't need them, you don't need it to also slow down your report if you don't need them. So of course there's use case for hiding. That's if that table is being used, but you don't want maybe, for instance, you don't want someone to just to use anything from that table. So the table is needed in the report, but maybe someone like me now, I can see your report now and just want to play around things, and you don't want me to just tamper with things. So you can hide those tables from this area. Yeah. But if you don't need them at all, they are not just like all these tables. We don't need them at all. Why bring them here? They are just going to take. So these are optimization techniques, yeah, that you should take note of. That is going to help your report. So thank you for that question, and I hope you understand that as well. Okay, let's continue. That's no question. Let's quickly go forward a bit, and then we'll come back. We'll not come back. We'll pause and take questions. Okay, so this is calculated column. It doesn't get simpler than that. So the next one that I want to show you is measures. Okay. But before I show you measures, let me bring us back to this area. Let me delete these guys here. I don't think we need them. We are done with them from last week. So you can see those chart that we removed was the one that caused those. I wish you saw it before I deleted it, but yeah. So this is page 1. So let me create a new page for and call it tax. Now, please pay attention now. As you know, if I'm interested in knowing how many customers I have in this database, very simple. Who can tell me what to do? I can bring in anybody who is confident on telling me. I want to know the number of customers that I have. Okay, I assume you know it. So let me just do it. So I can bring in my customer key, for instance, and automatically Power BI does the count of the customer key. So this gives me the number of customers that I have in my database. Do you understand? So now what if I want to see a count of these customers by, let's say, gender? Yeah, what we've done before. So if I add gender now, it becomes a chart, but I don't want it like this. I want a table. So I can bring in, please let's stay muted. Please let's stay muted. Why are we on muting now? So we have count of based on gender. You can see the number of stuff. So this guy here, let me ask you, this guy here, were you seeing it before? Was he in anywhere in our data? Class, come on.
No.
Huh?
Which guy, please?
Which guy?
This numbers here, this key, this count of customer key, was in anywhere in our data before?
No.
Okay. So let me leave this one here. Let me copy. I'm sure you know that you can copy and paste your visuals. Yeah, and quickly make change. Okay. So now I want to remove gender and use marital status. Cool. Okay. And then I'm going to like swap them together. Then bring this one here. So now for this one, are they the same? Even though it's count of customer key, are they the same?
No.
No. It has also changed, right?
Yes.
Based on now this new category, right? Okay. And these things are not in our data before. So they are just coming from somewhere that we don't know. Yeah. So this is actually measure. Do you understand? So this is a measure. Of course, this one was not created by us. We can create our own, but by default, you can have some measures. So these are called implicit measures. Okay. So these are measures that you create that are created by default. Maybe when you drag and drop. So they have disadvantage. And I'm going to show you, maybe as we progress, I will tell you, you see for yourself the disadvantage. So when you say something is implicit, it is limited within a particular, I don't know if that English is correct, but I'm just using my own understanding of this concept now. I'm not so good with English, but I believe implicit means that is within a box. Let's just put it that way. So implicit measures, they are only used, you can only access them, they can only be used within that context. So in this case, you can only use this particular guy now in this place. In this place also, you can only, maybe you don't understand, you understand very soon. So that's implicit measures. So someone said, why are they created by default? Yeah, because you brought in count of customers, so it's created them. So that's what I mean. You actually brought in count, right? Count of customers, so you created them by default. So that's what I mean by that. So now, how can we create our own, right? So the point, what I wanted to show you here is the fact that we have actually been dealing with measures, okay? And these are measures, but we can actually create ours. So the one we create are called explicit measures. So these ones are very, very explosive, such that they are not just the opposite of implicit. So they are not restricted within a particular place. You can use them even inside. It's just like if you can use them outside of a function anywhere. You will see a use case for that. Okay, so how can we create that? So let's go back here. We can actually do it here or the other side. It's anywhere we want to do it. So now, instead of doing new measure, new column, we will do new measure. Okay, and watch what happens. So what I want to do is I want to count. I want a count of the number of customers. Okay, I want the count for the number of customers. So I'm going to right click now and do new measure. And then again, it's still going to be the formula. And then I can call this formula count of customers. Okay, equals to Now, the same idea, like in your Excel. If you want to do count, how do you do it? In your
Count function.
Count.
you also have those counts here. So you can see we have count.
Count 8.
Mr. Williams, Arrod, please, I think your background is really noisy. Yeah, sorry about that. Your background is really noisy. If you can stay muted, sorry. Count her. So we have count, and then we have, you can read the description of this guys. So similar to in Excel. Remember in Excel too, we had count, counter. Although there are differences a bit from that of Excel. So make sure you confirm, but I won't be talking a lot on that. You can of course read them up. But for now, I will use counter. You can see it counts the number of values in a column. Okay, go and confirm with what we have in Excel and just read up the differences and all of that. But counter works. So count, I want to count the customer key, right? So just like we would do when we are drawing that table the other time. So count of customer key, okay? And then I click on enter. So as soon as I click on enter, if I come to my right-hand side, I can't see anything. When we're creating the calculated column, we're seeing them here, but here I can't see anything. And you will notice that the icon here is what? Like a calculator. So you can be asked in an interview, they can just bring this for you. That's why I show you some of these things. So they can just snap this place for you now and say count of customers is what? Full name DAX is what? Do you understand how questions can come like that? So you should be able to know that this means what? A measure, the calculator sign. And then you get used to them, but just pointing your attention to that. So you will notice that the count of customers that we created, we can't find it anywhere in our table. And that's because it's a measure. So they are not visible, what we started with in our definition, in our presentation. So they are not visible in the, what's it called? In the table, okay? But they are somewhere. So let's see how we can make use of them. So the same thing that we have here, instead of doing this like this, so I'm just going to minimize these guys and then maybe just copy and paste them. So I'll paste another one. So these two up are from the implicit measure, the normal one. And then this one, I'm going to take off this count of customers that we have. And then I can find my measure. Okay. So you can see the measure here. Let me try to bring this wide a bit. So you can see the measure here, count of customers. So instead of bringing this customer key by itself, I can just bring this count of customers that we created. You know, we're not seeing it, but the moment we bring it now, we can see the result. So just works like that one, except that we were the one that created it ourselves. And because we created it ourselves, we can use it in, you will understand that later. We would see an example of what I mean by that, but we can use it in anywhere because we are the creator, we can use it anyhow. So this is explicit and this is implicit measure. So those are the ways you can create measures and also calculated column with DAX. Of course, the functions are a lot, so depending on what you want to do. So you might be interested, sometimes it could be also sum. So let's say, for instance, I want to find the total amount. Okay, let me do it here first. So with this one now, I want to find the total amount of the income based on the marital status. So if I bring in my annual income, I think we have annual income, yeah? So it's a numerical column. So once I add it, it will automatically, it did sum for me by default, which is good, yeah? So again, this is implicit. So if I need to have the explicit of this, I have to create it myself. So I'm going to right click again and do new measure. And then I can give it any name. So I call it total income equals to, now, what are we going to do, guys? I mean, based on, if you are in Excel and you want to get the total income, what are you going to do? What function are you going to use? Huh?
So,
Some.
Um,
You said it with a low voice, right? Some. So that I would say, what did this say? I get that. Right.
I'm far away from my
No problem. I get that. I see that. But yeah, some. So we have some. So some is only some. So we don't have like some A, some B, and all of these things. So some, and then what do you want to sum? Annual income. Yeah. So you have to look for the annual income, which is this, and then close your bracket, and then you press enter. Okay. So the same thing. You will not see some like this total income because it's a measure, but you only see them when you call them. So when I bring in my total income now, and I had it here, you can see that we have exactly the same thing. You get the idea now. So that's basically how your measures work, implicit and explicit. As we go further, you would understand the true difference. I know right now it seems like, what's the difference? Yeah, I know there's not much difference now. It's still on the basic level. As we go on, you would see the difference. So don't forget what we've learned so far. DAX are used to create two things that you need to know. The first one is calculated columns. And when you talk of calculated columns, they are based on the existing data, and then they are visible in your data when you create them. And then for measures, they are not visible. And you can create measures two ways. Number one is the implicit measures, which are created by drag and drop of your, automatically by the guide. And then the second one is explicit, the one you can create for yourself using functions. Okay, so let's take a break. This is the longest we've had class, I believe, without taking a break. So let's have 5 minutes breaks to rest. And if you have any question, if you want to practice what we've done so far, just do some things in 5 minutes. And also I will go and look for that Excel. I must show you people today that I taught you that. Oh, you thought I forgot? I did not forget to. So 5 minutes and we'll be back. Okay, thank you.
Can I ask something? Or not yet?
Okay, yeah, you can ask some.
So I want to ask now, when you said the program is running up now, I want to ask concerning the Discord. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I was gonna be in Discord maybe sometimes, in case you want to talk to you, or if you have any challenges, or as we're running up the program, we are going out of Discord too.
Mr. Funshaw, can you help me answer him? Because I know you asked that question earlier.
Oh, did you ask that kind of question? Maybe that's when I'm late.
I mean,
Discord is here and forever.
Forever, boo. We say for okay, yeah. Let's say forever. No.
Yes, now.
This is Idris. I just allowed it. I say, boo.
Hey.
The person you chose have changed the answer.
Have you? Did he answer your question, Mr. Ashimfumi?
Yes, it says forever. Oh, thank you.
It says forever. Okay. Well,
is that what they said?
It will be here. Yeah, I mean, we'll have it. You will be here. I'll be there. Let's just do
All
that.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I thought you were going to ask a question about Power BI.
No, really. No.
Okay.
Just that because doing this thing, I encountered the same thing while I was loading my this on Power BI. All those things, all those data, they are not showing the what's it called, the visual. The visual are not showing. I encountered that. I was thinking maybe it's my laptop anyway.
We've not done a lot of visuals now.
No, the first day, as in I'm just trying to visualize the.
You are not that. Then you probably doing it in the wrong way. Maybe you are using the wrong visual type, or don't worry. When we go explicit,
it's okay, it's fine. It's fine.
When we go for more inside this, you would understand when to use this type of visual and all of that. I think probably tomorrow we'll start visual. We should complete DAX tonight so that we can just go full load for two sessions. We'll just be doing visualization. So there you will now understand a lot of those things. So you're probably using the wrong type of chart on the wrong type of data. That's most likely.
Okay. I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
the question might look stupid, but like someone used to say that there is
question.
no stupid question.
No question is stupid.
So like I'm wondering, like I'm still working on this small data now. Like my system has been misbehaving. So I'm now wondering, and I get to just setting up and I'm handling a large data that's like 20 times this what we have been dealing with now. So is it the company that will provide us system to work with, or we are still going to be using all this our scrap system?
It depends now. It depends on the company. I don't know if companies buy people laptop or so. It's I don't think I have an answer to that one. But obviously,
my company will provide for you people. No worry.
Oh, you have a company. Let's submit our resume. So, Mr. Funshodi, yeah, that's it. Your company depends. But obviously, I remember when I was doing Power BI, I actually had that issue then. I had to buy a new laptop. Then I remember so well. So, because I knew what I wanted to learn was so heavy, and so these are the commitments you make if you feel like your computer will not allow you to. It's a very heavy this thing. So I think even at this level, it will help you to do more of the optimization things. So you're not just doing things anyhow. You only load the important data because you know that your system is not capable. Okay, I think you guys won. I actually use concat. Now I feel so sorry. I'm bad.
Yes, Mr. Idris, this is where I gloat very well.
Oh my God.
Let me go attack the other person.
You say no assignment.
Wait, how did it happen? I thought I told you guys this thing.
Where is that Mr. Ojo? Let me go and look for him.
No. I still don't. Maybe I mentioned it.
I promise you didn't. Like maybe you actually had the intention to, and it happens that in your mind you think you said everything, but it just happened.
That's really so no assignment like this weekend. Hey,
Biko, big assignment too. I beg.
I just lost a bet now, so why would there be assignment again?
No, we pardon you.
Okay, some of us make it optional, right?
No worry, we give you pardon.
Thank you. I'm pardon. Oh my God.
Don't they give pardon, Abi?
And you know that set me up like this. It was one who set me up.
I did not. I was just very sure. That was all. I did not set you up.
You know, at times women can be convincing. You know, don't mind them.
Please, let's not go gender based. Let's.
My own point. I said it earlier. I said you will explain Taya. You are not explaining that.
and I have no evidence. I thought I could find evidence, but there's no evidence. All right, no worries. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I thought but please check it out. Concatenate options. Check it how you can. You can use a plus in some places. You can even use ampersand. So check it. So yeah, let's continue. So we are back. Thank you. So the next thing we are going to do now is to just play around more stuff on the measures. So before that, I want to show you something that I think you should know. So in the assignments that I gave, I restricted some things because I know that I didn't show you something. So let's just do more stuff, playing around more things, and then we'll see how far we can go tonight. So based on these customers, let's say I'm interested in the wealth category. I think we have a lot of wealth category, yeah? So let me bring my wealth category here, and then no moving on. So my wealth category here. Why is my computer hanging? Oh, sorry, guys. So let's say I bring my wealth category here, and we have just 4. Okay, it will also show you what I want to show you. Okay, let's use customer then. Let's not use the word category. Let's use customer name. So let's say Mr. Their full name. Where's full name now? Full name of customer. Yeah, this one. So let's say we're interested in knowing which customer earns the highest or the top 10. You know, we've done something like that. We did something like that in Excel. Yeah. And we also did it in SQL. So I would have added it in your assignment last week, but yeah, I just since I didn't teach you. So let's do the top 10 customers. Let's do the implicit first. So I'm going to add this. No, not count now. I need amount. Yeah. So it's the amount I need, which is the annual income. So it's going to change it to table by to this. So let me change it to table. So we can see this is all the guys. So we can see different amount that they made. So let's assume I'm interested in the top 10. Okay, so top 10, or let's do top 3, or top. Okay, let's do top 10. Okay, so how can you do that in your measures? So one way is to come to filters. So we've never come. I'm not sure we've been here before. So you can come to the filters. Let me delete this, guys. Yeah, this place is looking noisy. So if you come to this filter side, for your first name, you will click on this arrow here, and then you will see filter type. Okay, so we have several filtering options. So this one is for basic filtering. So let's say, for instance, I'm interested in Alejandro Becker. I can click on it, and only him will be left. Do you understand? So let's say, for instance, I'm interested in Alendro or something, and click on it, and only him will be left. You can even click more than one stops. You can even set for it. So let's assume I'm up here and I'm interested in Alex, or anybody that bears Alex. So we have a lot of people that have Alex in their name. So let's say if that's what I'm looking for. So now I can select these guys only and see, yeah, no, just to see values. This is a way of filtering it. And if you need to clear it, so you will see an option here, clear filter. So once you clear it, everything is gone. So these are just basic things that you can do under the basic filtering. Now, the next thing, if you click on this basic filtering, you have another option called advanced filtering. This is all these things here are very important. So it depends on the use case. So advanced filtering is more like a wildcard. So show items when the value contains, so you can actually change to a lot of things. So let's say contains Alex. Do you understand? So, and then I click on apply filter. So you will see that I only have everything that contains Alex, something like that. Do you understand? Or you can clear, and then instead of contains, you can do does not contain, which is opposite. You can do start with. So I want everything that starts with, let's say, of course, a lot of them start with M, so it doesn't really make sense. So let's say the one that starts with MS, because I think we have Mr., Mrs., and Miss. Mr., Mrs., and MS. So let's say we are interested in all the MS. Okay, start with MS. You can click on apply, and you see that you're only left with. So these are just things that you play with. And then you can add more options. So, okay, if you want another option, let's say start with MS and contains, for instance, and contains, let me look for a name here, and contains Abby. So we have 2 Abby's in our class. So let's say it contains Abby. Okay, something like that. You can click on apply. So it's under and. Do you see? Taking you back to what we've already learned before. It's under and, meaning the 2 conditions must be what? Must be met. If I change this now to or, what's going to happen? And you click on apply. If you ask MS, it will come. If it asks Abby, it will come. So you have more options here now. So MS will come, Abby will also come. So you see that it's an application of continuation of everything that you have learned. You understand? So you must understand those basics. And then when you even come to a tool like this, it becomes very easy for you to navigate. So that's it, how you can do that. So play around it and figure it out yourself. And then what I actually wanted to show you is top hen. This one, let me see. I'm not sure I've done any analysis, and then I don't do this thing. I use it a lot because just like in your Excel, it helps you to, the top performing people or top performing dimension, whatever you want to call it. So top N option, you also can do bottom. So let's start with top. So let's say, for instance, I'm interested in the top 10, like I said. So this is how you do it here. I think you already know how you do it in Excel, yeah? I thought did we do it in Excel? Yeah, we did, right? Or we didn't? We didn't? Ah, we did it in SQL, yeah?
Okay.
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, we're in SQL.
Okay, but not in Excel.
Yeah, not in
it's
Excel.
sir.
Okay, I think it was this data we're using in Excel. Okay, okay, let's continue. So here you have top 10, so you can do top 10, okay, by value. You know, when you do top something, it's always by something, yeah? So say top 10 by what? Is it by the amount of food they eat or their weight or how much they talk or how much they sleep? There has to be something to quantify, yeah? So in this case now, top 10 by what? By the income, right? Do you understand?
Yes.
So now
Yes.
I have to bring in my annual income here. Okay. So which is like sum. So sum of income. So if it's by the count of income, which doesn't make sense, of course, you can also change it and do whatever I want to. So sum of income, and then you click on apply. So you see here now that all our data have okay, maybe you don't see the difference. So let me remove this. Can you see how? Okay, let me clear it. And then you see how much our data is. So once I do that top 10 by this annual income, I drag it here by value and then click on apply. You see we are limited to just this top 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the reason why we have it like this is because we have 130,000 multiple times and we have 120 as well. So that's why I will not explain this one now. But it's like the top 10. So because like based on the counting, what kind of count is that? Is that more rank in SQL? It's also in SQL, the type of ranking they use. But you can see how you can limit the top 10. If you want top 5, for instance, you can also do the same thing. Top 5, you get them, yeah. Or if you want bottom 5, then you click on apply. You have bottom, so all of them are like 10,000 actually. So that's what is going on there. If you want top, bottom 10, so and so on and so forth. So this is how you do that. So and that's the most important thing that I wanted to show you, because you'll be in your project now, you'll be having to do that because you cannot be presenting the result like this. You will need to show us the interesting ones, like, okay, this is who this person is, this is who that person is, and all of that. Okay, is it clear? Okay, so let's go further. So let's push it a bit. Let me push you. I'm going to clear this. Now, we did something like this in Excel. So let's say we are looking at wealth category and then the total amount. So let's do total amount, which is annual income. So let's assume that we are interested in knowing we want to get the wealth category that has more than 4.5 million in income. This is where it gets interesting now. So please pay attention. We want a category that gets more than 4.5 million. Do you understand? So it means that, of course, you must compute the category. Now I'm bringing you to the concept of, we've done where. Now I'm giving you the concept of halving. Do you remember when we use halving? After a group by, right?
Yes.
So now we've already grouped. We want to now filter. Do you understand it? We've already grouped now. We are not just interested in maybe each of the customers. That's, we've gone past the customer level. Now we have grouped based on the wealth category level. We now want to filter again. Okay. So we cannot use where just like in SQL. So here also, how can we do that? So if we check your sum income here, which is this value here now, you would find is less than. Can you see? There's no filter. I'm just showing you another type of filtering So you also see that initially, the other time, it was the first name that we were playing around with. But now we want to play with this value itself. So if we check it now, it says is less than, okay? What I mentioned is greater than 4.5 million, yeah? So if I put greater than 4.5 million, that's how many zeros? Excuse me, that's, this is 4.5 million, yeah? Okay, yeah. And then I click on apply. You see that I'm only left with these two. Do you understand? Do you get it? So that is good. If you want to do less than as well, you can do that. But it's already getting stressful, don't you think? Because let's say, for instance, that 4.5 million is dynamic. There are many reasons why it could be dynamic. It could be the target. It could be the total amount we made last year, which every year you expect it to be changing. Are you going to be coming here manually to be changing all these things? Now you're already seeing the disadvantage of the manual or the implicit measure. Even though it works, it's manual. It has limitations. It has a lot of limitations. There are some that you cannot even do it with. But even with the ones you can do it with, there are better ways of doing it. So that's why I showed you this as an example, so that we can see how we can go. So let's say, for instance, this is what we want to do, so you can understand what I'm saying. So let's say we want to know which of the wealth category has income that is greater than the average income of this wealth category. So this is what I mean. Among all of this wealth category now, or among this income, what is the average? Ah, someone is lost. Someone is lost. Yeah, I think someone is lost. Okay, let me see how I can explain this.
Yeah, with you.
Do you understand? So now, you know, the average now is just similar to when you were doing your SQL questions, your SQL second week, I think project 4. Is it project 4 now? Yeah. When you had to first, no, it was project 3. Yeah, I think it was project 3. When you had to first maybe do something, check something, and then use it inside of a subquery. You remember those concepts? You know, it's dynamic. It's always it's something that will be giving you a dynamic result. So if you want to do that, your implicit measure will not last, because it will be dynamic. It will be something that will be changing. So an example, and I want to come up with an example. So let's assume first, I said that the average for the income, okay? Average for the income based on, okay, let's see the average first. So let me bring in my total annual income. Okay, so this is my annual income, which is sum, automatically sum. Let me change it to average. As you know, I can come over here and change it to average. So I'm going to change sum to average. Okay, so once I change it to average, I have 58.2K. Okay, so now let's say I want to do something like, how many of my wealth category, let me write it somewhere here so that you can understand the question. Let me insert, so you can actually insert a text box like you have in Excel also. So this is it, so you can understand what I'm trying to say. So how many of my, the reason why I'm teaching you like this is because of the experience we've had before with Excel and SQL. Do you understand? I expect you to grasp all these things easily. So how many, which what category, or how many, or which, anyhow. So which or how many wealth category as end, or, okay, let's leave it at that, as end, or no, that's English is not correct, as times 10 of the average income. Do you understand? So it means that when you multiply this one, is it times 10 now? Is it going to be times 10? 58,000 times 10 is 580. So it should be times 100. So that's 5.8. Is that my mathematics correct? This, let me confirm. 58,000 times 100. It should be 5.8 million, yeah? Is it? Anybody? It's like I'm doing on this part.
Yes.
5.8 million.
Yes.
Okay. So now, how many of my wealth category now has times 100 of the average income? Do you get the how we are just playing around a number now? So of course, you know that the average will always change, but we want to ensure that we want to get the wealth category or any wealth category that has more than times 10 of that value. Do you understand? So now, if I want to do this now, I will come here. In this case now, you can see the steps I followed. I first calculated the average. I multiplied it by 10. I know the answer as 5.8. Then I came here and now did is greater than 5.8. 5.8. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I click on apply. Now I got only this guy because only this guy has more than 5.8. We got the answer, but look at the number of steps that we took, which is similar to those steps you were taking in SQL assignment when you first found something and then you now got the value. Remember Nicholas, whatever, and then you now put it where this is equals to Nicholas. And I told you that if for some reason Nicholas is no longer the guy with the highest number of movies, then that your answer is wrong. So we now look for a way of doing it dynamically so that anytime anybody that is the guy there will automatically be used here. So that same idea or that same limitation is the same that we have with implicit measure, so that you can only hard code it. It's very rigid. It cannot be used elsewhere. So let's see how we can use the what's it called now? Remind me, the explicit measure to
explicit.
Do you understand? So let's see. So first, what I want us to do against similar approach, but it will be more dynamic. So this is the one for the implicit. So I want to do first, I need to calculate the average, right? So average has to be constant. So I'm going to write a new measure and call it average income. So I can call it AVG income equals to average. Again, we have average there, okay? Average of income. So customers' income, okay? So this is the average of the income. Now, if I click on this, anytime I bring it out, let me reduce this guy here so that we can see. Anytime I bring this guy out, this average income here is the same as what we have here, yeah, which is what we expect. So what I'm going to do now is, should I create another? Okay, let me just use the same. So I don't want us to be creating a lot of measures. So instead of average column, I'm going to call it target income. And you know that our target income is what? What are we targeting? What is our target? The average multiplied by what?
100.
So instead of creating another measure, I don't want. So let's just do it all at once. So this is the target now. This is what we want to use as our target. So this guy will give me 5.2 million. So this is my target income. So now I can create a measure, okay? And then, so I will say that I want, I cannot say, what am I supposed to do now?
Don't sleep, wake up.
I'm already sleeping. No, I'm not sleeping. What are we supposed to return? We want to return the
wealth category that has higher than the average.
Higher than the average. Okay.
Like 100.
That's a wrong example. I don't want to complicate. Okay, let me take 3 minutes break. I'm overwhelmed. Let's take 3-minute break and I'll be back. 3 minutes.
But the average income of what category?
Go to break.
Oh, guys, sorry, I'm back. Apologies. Okay, so where are we at? So this is actually what happened. I think the example is I wouldn't say it's a bit complex, but because I have to use some functions that I was not expecting to use them at this point. So that was actually where I got so what I was supposed to show you, like another type of example, but I mean it's already jam-packed together, but I will just show you like that. But I believe you would understand it. No worries. So you already get the concept. So we are trying to find just the categories now that have earned more than 5.82 million. So it's going to introduce us to some functions which I wasn't planning. It wasn't in my plan. So that's why I got a bit confused. But yeah, we'll just do it like that and then we'll see what we get. Okay, my video on. Okay, yeah. So I'm going to click on, of course, a new measure. And then that new measure, we can call it, we can give it any other name. I can say greater than average, maybe something like this, anything. So now I'm going to come downstairs and then I can use, there's a function called, if you check in my presentation, don't worry, if you don't understand this, trust me, we'll still do something on it again. So in my presentation, we have lookup functions based on related tables, filtering functions for dynamic calculations, right? So this, I was not expecting to come to anything here today at all. But I think that everything here as well, you know them based on your previous. So there's no point really wasting time doing all of these things that I believe you already know, right? So you can try to work on these things yourself, learn, just use your experience with Excel to figure them out. So it's your luck that we had to come here today. So I wasn't planning to, honestly. So, but again, we'll do a refresher and then before we do our other project, okay? All right, so as you can see here, there are several of them there. So the one I will be using now is the filter function first. So I'm going to show you what that filter does. So filter, it says that it returns a table that has been filtered. Okay, so it means that the way it works is that you want to filter a table and then you return that table. So first, going by the approach that we used to do our manual calculation, one thing that you already know, even if you want to do a dynamic process, you need to still follow the usual way, just that you would just compress everything together. That's the whole idea, right? Of making it work. Please, if you don't understand this part of this lesson tonight, you are no worries about it. Okay, I feel like it's on a bit high side, and I'm sorry about that because of trying to show you this example. So if you don't understand it, it's not like Power BI is hard, no. Although this you must know it, but maybe not at this time. So if at any point you feel lost or anything, just don't worry about it. You can watch it again and then we can also go over it together later. Okay, so apologies about that, just giving you that disclaimer. So this filter, the way it works is that it filters like a table, as you can see. So you have a table and then it helps you give it a filter. But before even this filter, there is something else that I also want to show you, which is this summarize function. Okay, so you have summarize is this one that you can use to recreate another table, like your pivot table. You remember your pivot table? Or even those tables that you see where you have what do you call them now? When you have like the category and then the total amount. Do you understand? So let's see how we can use summarize to create that. We'll do it step by step so that you can understand. So let's start with the summarize. That was what we first did. We first brought the word category and then we brought the amount. Yeah. And after that, we now filter that table. Do you understand? We filter that table to take away the one that is greater than 5.8 million. Do you remember? So let's see how we can use summarize to create that first table. So we use summarize function to summarize a table. So, and of course, what it's asking for now is the table, right? You can see table. So the table here is customers, yeah? Table, it's asking for table, not colon now. Table is customers, comma. Now, what's the next thing it's asking for? Group by colon. So what are you grouping by? Just like in SQL, right? So what are we grouping by, guys? What are we grouping by? What column are we grouping by?
Wealth
Come on.
category.
Wealth category.
Wealth.
So wealth category is the column I'm grouping by. Of course, you can have multiple group bys. So that's why I say group by column 1. If you have another column you want to group by, you add it. But here we just only want to group by wealth category. And the next thing, we don't have category 2. So the next thing we want to group by, not group by, the next thing we will need is the, what's it called? The name. So after this group by column 2, which is optional and all of those, the next thing you have is the name of the new column. Because once you create a new column, just like in SQL, you remember it will be empty. So you have to give it a name. So the next one is going to be name 1, which I'm going to give it a name, and I can call it, you can see now the moment I choose this option, it knows that I'm dealing with a name. So it switches to a name 1. So the name of this category, this new measure that I want to create. So I can call it total income. Okay. And then what is the expression? So what is the expression? Like, what is the expression here is like, what is the formula, or what is the, whatever you want to do. So I can as well write, what I want to do is sum of income. Okay. Sum of income. But this does not make sense. So sum of total income. Okay? I know someone is already lost. Okay, don't worry. So you can do sum of total, is it total? Oh, annual income, not total income, annual income. Okay. But instead of doing this sum of income, this is where explicit measures are really good. I can actually use that measure that I've created before here. Do you understand? So this is what makes it explicit. You can use it in any place. You can use it in formulas. You can use it in, you cannot use the one that you have in your chart that you created implicit. You cannot bring it here. There's no way you can write it in a formula. Do you understand it now? So instead of writing sum of annual income multiple times, I can be using that measure because that measure has already been stored. But if I do this now, every time Power BI has to run this, it will be running that sum again, which will affect performance. So instead of writing sum of annual income, which will still work, I can just use my total income measure that I've created. Okay, so what is going on here, let me explain, is that we are trying to create a new table, summarize our table, break it down based on the wealth category, and then give us the total amount based on the wealth category. So if I click on enter now on this, the expression refers to multiple column. Oh my God. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I should, Jesus help me. Okay, so this is what's going on. This guy, measures should contain just one value, right? That's just the whole idea of measure. Measure should return just one value. You can decide to break that value down if you want, but measure should contain one value. So what we're about to do now, this is the result that we are expecting. Let me show you. So we have wealth category here, and then we have sum of annual income. No, I want a table. This is like the result we are expecting, something like this. This is not a measure anymore. That summarized function, this is what it's going to produce. So using it in a measure is telling us that it's even good that you are seeing this. So I think you get used to these errors. So it's saying that the expression refers to multiple columns. So it means that the result is going to bring multiple columns. And since we are creating a measure, we cannot have multiple columns in a measure. So that's why we are getting this error. So what we can do, because what we are actually creating, this measure, this summarized guide that we are creating should return, it should be a table. Okay. So let me show you how you can create a table also, because I'm not sure I've shown you that. So probably that would be another way to show you that. So you can actually, oh God, I feel like it's getting too much. Okay, let me stop here tonight.
Don't stop, please. Don't stop.
Do you guys understand? If you understand, I will continue, but I feel like I don't know.
Yes, we do.
Oh, okay. Let me continue.
I do.
Okay. So let's now create a new table. Okay. So here, if you click on any table or anything, you will see, if you come to table options, which is another contextual menu, you will see new table, new measure. You can also do your new measure from here, or new column. You can do it in other places. Now, under this new table, what did they say? Write a DAX expression to create a new table. So let me copy my DAX here, because this is a DAX here. I'll just cut it, and then so that this guy will be deleted from here. Okay. So let me just delete it. It's not needed there. Delete from model. Delete. So now I will come back to my table tools and create a new table. And it's just I want to create a new table now with DAX. So you can see the usefulness of DAX is so wide. So I'm going to paste this my formula that I wrote. Since you already understand the formula, once I click on enter, there should be no error. Okay. So now greater than average has been created as a table. Can you see? So if you investigate what you have inside, look at what we have here. Can you see? Now, if you check your table view, because you cannot see it from that other side, if you check your greater than average table here, where is it? Greater than average, you can see that is exactly the same thing as you have in your chart. Can you see? So this summarize, it can also be used to do this thing that you have here. That's the first step. Do you understand? Do you get it? So, of course, normally we should not create this summarize. It's just because, I mean, we should not create this table out, but because I want to explain it to you so you can see what's happening. That's why I created it. So now that we have created this table now, we can now filter this table, because that's exactly what we did, even in this place. After we created this table, we filtered it and said what? If it is greater than what? If it is greater than 500,000, yeah, 5.8, so greater than 5.8 million, and then click on apply. That was what we did, yeah? So the same thing here, we are going to filter this table, and that's where the second function comes in, which is filter. Do you understand? So we are going to filter this table. So instead of leaving summarize alone, so let me show you how you can do that. So the way let me do it one by one, and then I will join them together again. Okay, let's do it one by one first. So of course, if I come here again and click on new table, I will call it filtered table. Okay, equals to filter. Filter is also another function. So what it does is it returns a table that has been filtered. So it means a table that you have, whether you summarize it, whether anyhow but a table that has been filtered. So the table that we want to filter is which one now? Greater than average, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So the table I want to filter is greater than average. Now, what is the filter expression? So the filter expression is that in this greater than average, let me quickly click on it again. In this greater than average, anywhere that the total income is greater than what? Take note of the new column now. You cannot use annual income again, because in this new table now, this column is no longer called annual income. It is now called what? Total income. So anywhere that this total income is greater than what? 5.8 million. So in my filter table now, if I come here and say, which is after this one now, filter expression. Filter expression is that my total income, so total income, once you type it, you will see the option, the total income in the greater than average, where it is greater than 5.8 million. Is this correct? How many 0, 1, 2, 3? Yeah. Is this 500,000? Oh, it's correct. So once I click on enter, this guy, this filter table now returns just this guy. Do you understand? So, which is exactly what we did but now let's now make it interesting and dynamic. So instead of putting this 580,000 and coding it, I can say greater than, who can tell me? Your average. We already have an average. We have a measure called average, right?
Get income also.
Okay. Now we have there's a measure that we created called average, right? Yeah, remind me. Yeah. Okay, now there is a problem because where is it? Average. Target income. Oh, it's not average. Target income. That's the name of that measure. So now let's go back to our filter table and say instead of 580,000, 5.8 million, I can say target income multiplied by what? 100. So it means that even if the target income change tomorrow to a particular value, it will reflect here. You don't need to do anything. It will automatically update itself. You understand? So this works. Now, there's something at the there's an error here. So I think
the target income is already multiplied by 100. So you are multiplying it again.
Okay, good. Thank you for observing that. Thank you. So once I just had that, so anytime the target income updates, you can see the usefulness of the explicit measure now, how we are using it even inside of, that's how it's, I mean, there are lots use more cases than this, okay? Tomorrow, I will probably filter, do some things on this data, and then you will see that it's updating itself. And but I will not do that tonight, not to confuse you. Now, what we've done, even though I said that it's dynamic, it still looks a bit rigorous. So we can actually combine all of these steps in one place. And that's what I'm going to show you now, and then we'll close. Do you understand? So let's see. So I will create all those summarize, all those function, all those filter, they will be in one place. Do you get it? And then we'll just get, so it will just be one DAX formula that will give us everything. Just like we did in Excel when we have nested several functions inside one another. Okay, so let's go. Let's see how we can do that once and for all. So we bring this one here. So again, it's just compiling all the formulas together. So I will start with this greater than, let me copy it. Okay. So let me just copy this one. So now I'm going to write a new table, entirely new table, and then I'll call it final table. So you can just say final, so you differentiate it, final filtered. Okay, equals to, now, you know what you want to do, that you want to summarize a table and then filter that table, right? So let's start from the inside. So the inside is this guy, which is summarize, right? This is the inside table. So first we want to summarize, right? So after we have summarized, all these guys now is giving us one table. Now we want to filter this table. Do you understand? So if I use my filter function, it's asking me for what? Table, right? My filter is asking me for table. So it means all this, all this summarized like this, all these guys like this is what? That table. Because it's going to return a table. You saw it, summarize returns a table. So all this table like this will return the table. So it means this is the table we want to, who added that columns? That's a mistake by me, sorry. I think I pressed rubbish there. Okay, yeah. So it means all this table here, like this, are what we want to filter. Do you get it? So now, if all these are one table, the next thing that is inside of our filter is what? Filter expression. And what is the filter expression? That the total income, total income, which is this one. So it's a bit tricky now because it has not been created yet. Oh, Jesus. How can we do this? I don't want to do any other explanation tonight. It is greater than total income that we target income that we already. So just like we are recreating that step. So let me see if this will work. Okay. It did not work. Oh. So this guy is the issue here. So I need to write this. So this total income here now that we created is what is not seen yet because it has not been stored in the data in the system. So how can we do it? I think we can do. Oh, that's the issue. And this is not SQL. Oh, how can we do this? Oh, my head. Have mercy on you. Yeah, I think it should work. So we can actually write it like this: total income, and then put it here. Let me see. Oh, it worked. Thank you, Jesus. It worked. Okay, it worked. I can't explain why it worked, but it worked. Okay, so this is okay. So let me explain what's going on. Because this guy, this is the issue I'm having, why I got confused for a moment. When we created this table here, this where is it? Greater than average. You know, we already created this column name to be total income. It's already stored in our system. So when we are looking for the filter table, we could easily call that total income column. But in this case now, it has not been stored yet because we are still writing the formula. So that was why I was confused. So I think if you want to write it, this is how you write it. So just put it inside the bracket, this curly bracket. It will automatically find it that you are talking about this total income that you just created. And then you would find, just repeating the same formula now, but everything is compressed. So instead of doing those tests multiple times, this guy will give you the result you want. So anytime the average income increases or reduces, it will update here. And when you bring this guy, which is this filter table, when you bring it out as a table, you will always have your result. So all the time. I know that was probably, a lot, even for me, I got confused, but try to look at it. I know you would understand it and try to, especially in creating those tables, even though you don't understand the combined one, look at, because now you've learned about filter, you've learned about summarize, and we'll likely be using some of them in our project. We'll just be touching them. These are the opportunities to just touch on them. But know that things like this exist. And as you probably have seen tonight, it's about knowing what you want to do and then being able to recreate it. That's the whole thing, how it works. So your preliminary knowledge and your understanding of data is still very important, irrespective of the tool, either Power BI, either SQL, either Excel, any tool you're using. You still need to have the understanding of the data, everything that is going on. And then all you need is to be able to interpret. So I'm sorry if the later part of tonight was a bit confusing on the eyesight for you. If you still don't understand, just reach out on the Discord. I will know how I will plan tomorrow's class. Of course, I was planning that we just start visualization tomorrow, but if there's a need to touch on this again, probably for the first 20 minutes, I wouldn't mind. But make sure you check it first before you just say that you don't understand. If you don't check it and you just come, you will be wasting our time. So check it first, practice on it. If you practice it and you feel that you are still not comfortable, then I would spend some time. But if not, then we are good to go. So apologies, we'll not take any question. Time is up. Thank you for joining tonight. It was a lot. And I hope you guys have fun. See you tomorrow. It goes good. Have a good evening.
Thank you and good night.